Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Assassin's Creed 2. So today's episode is going to be a little bit different because I had microphone issues last week, and unfortunately the audio just couldn't be recovered, so I'm actually just going to be commentating over the episode that I recorded because the video's fine, and Ubisoft is infamous for whatchamacallit, not allowing backwards progression. So instead of it, with Assassin's Creed 1, I was kind of able to run a parallel game, so I could take footage if I ever lost any footage, because I did lose footage once or twice, but yeah, I didn't do that with this game. It just didn't seem worth the effort. So today we are just, I think we're just going through Venice, if I remember right. And we're just going to be doing the side missions there, at least some of them. And kind of collecting the last assassin seal. I think that's going to be the big thing, actually. That might be the whole episode. I remember the tomb took longer than I thought it would, especially at the beginning. It kind of fakes you out and makes it seem like it might be quicker than it ends up being. Yeah, it looks like we're going straight for the tomb, so I guess that's what we're doing today. Which makes sense, that is on the title I put up for the episode, because I generally give them a name when I finish recording them. Sometimes I'll change the name after the fact, but normally I'll stick with it.
I may be a bit disorganized, but I do know my...
Alright, so we aren't too far off from it now. I do appreciate they kind of have the whatchamacallit, the Carnivale, or at least elements of Carnivale, still around, even though the carnival season has ended, which I do appreciate. Adds a little bit of flavor to the game. We'll just climb on up here. There we go, climb up here. And in we go. It's a good thing no one else has ever tried to fiddle with those in the hundreds of years that they've been here. It's a rather... Visit Zion's secret. Solve the riddles of Visit Zion's catacombs to find the assassin seal hidden within. And we are on full notoriety right away. Find the assassin's sarcophagus.
There is something moving over there in that haystack.
Sit back down. We're in the middle of playing a tarot game.
No, this time I saw something. I know it.
That's what you say every time. You were right. There was something in the haystack, you feminuccia.
I'm tired of your jokes. This isn't funny. I could have been killed.
By rats.
You don't take our work seriously. One misstep, one time you turn your back in the wrong direction, and you're dead.
Because of rats.
I'm not going to explain myself to you anymore.
Please, don't stop. This is so entertaining.
Let me be.
Please, come back.
No!
I'll protect you. Don't worry.
Vaffanculo!
Is this really how it's going to be?
Si.
Alright, it seems like there's no more dialogue there, so I guess we'll wait a few seconds and then we'll pop out and stab him. There we go. We'll pop back in. Notice how his buddy doesn't even notice he's dead. So the irony here is if they had taken their work less seriously, they would have survived. If they had just kept playing their tarot card game, then we would have walked right past them and had no need to kill them. But yeah, so this starts off a chase sequence. So, what was it medicine? I wanted something from him. I forget what it was. But yeah, we got ourselves another chase sequence here.
Leave me alone!
Whee! And of course, Ezio is running off of random things. I like the gates here. The gates don't do anything half the time. There I was debating using my pistol, but I figured he's running so fast that in the time it takes for you to actually center your aim with the pistol, he'd probably be out of its range because it doesn't have a super long range. I want to say it's only like 15 meters, give or take. It's not super far. I mean, you consider what the accurate range of a pistol would have been in this era, and the fact that his is even smaller since it's supposed to be concealed within the within his gauntlets, and you do not have much of an effective range there. Alright, so up and around we go.
I have to find a way out before it kills me.
And I think we're getting near the end here of the chase, if I remember correctly.
Guards! To arms! To arms!
Which is a shame because I don't even know how he closed that gate. There wasn't like a rope or anything. It just closed behind him automatically. You can see all the guards in that room were at a table. If I had been able to follow him a little bit longer, I would have been able to grab him. Now, this part actually confused me for a while because I thought you wouldn't be able to climb onto the root. There's a tree root, which you'll see when we go back. There's a tree root at the base of the hole in the wall on the right side, or the window, or whatever you want to call it. And I thought I like tried once and I didn't grab onto it, so I thought I couldn't climb onto that, which seemed that stone pillar, which seemed like the obvious surface to climb on. So this led to me trying the wrong way to get up there because I figured, oh, okay, you climb up here, you can use your high jump to get up there, get onto the rafters. And I thought you could like come down, swing around to where the rafters kind of meet the wall, where it forms that triangle. And I thought you'd be able to jump up, grab the top of it, and then shimmy on over to the ledge that's built into the wall, and then shimmy over all the way to the other side. And that's not the case. So I'm going to be spending way longer than necessary than necessary on this. And in fact, because I'm doing post commentary, I might even just cut it, save you all like 15 minutes of me suffering. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Beats having to come up with something the podcasts are about for 15 minutes. Yeah, you can see there I'm even trying to use my eagle vision. I tried to use a map. It just kind of took a while until I figured out the trick. So with that, we'll be back in a minute or two once I figure out the proper solution. And there we go. We have the proper solution. And here I'm just like, oh my god, what the fuck? Why did I not see that for so long? So this is where I think I briefly experimented. Instead of going straight in, I tried to experiment with going around the other side of the room, because during my running around to this room trying to find the way up, I did notice there's a quote-unquote secret chest in the opposing corner of the room. So when we're at those big gates that are shut, facing towards the hallway we came in on the right side, there's a window where there's a chest. And eventually I do come back for it because I do figure out the puzzle there. But not until the next room. So for now, we'll just kill these guys. I think was it Brotherhood where like you could do like a double, like if two guys attacked you at once, you could like double counter them? Or was that introduced later? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was in by the time of Assassin's Creed 4. But I don't know when they put it in exactly. Well, you know, the gate with the assassin seal on it is actually the way we gotta go. Who would have guessed? Oh, that just seems like a bit of a superfluous cutscene. And actually, this room isn't too dissimilar from the one we were just in. It's got a kind of a statue and an alcove, too, like the previous one. I don't know why I'm looting all the bodies, if I'm hoping to get like a bottle of medicine off of them or what. And I think here I'm debating how to get back up there, and then I see, oh, there's just a bar I jump back across. And I think, let's see, what is my thought process? I think I try once or twice more to get into that secret chest area. Yeah. Yep, I'm going for it. But I don't really make much headway, and honestly, there's nothing really to see here other than me trying more of the same stuff that didn't work while I was trying to get to the first window, so I think we'll skip ahead here to when we enter the tomb, unless... Yeah, I'm kind of evaluating it right now. Weighing my chances. Okay, good. I made the smart decision, so I don't have to cut it again. My reasoning behind that, at least, was the quote-unquote secret chests in, like, the tombs they don't count for 100%ing the game, by the game's own metrics, even. So I just don't see it as worth my time, when literally the only thing you get out of it is money, of which I already have too much. So yeah, we got one of these puzzles, another timed puzzle. And I think the last one we'll have to deal with, unless there's like a story one later. So these tunnels almost look like they date back to the Roman and Greek times. So obviously I got to make a couple attempts to actually do it right. And this is where I'm going to spend probably most of my time for this puzzle, is just this first jump and trying to figure out how that works. Because you notice there was a little tooltip, so they want you to do something special. And it takes me a while to figure it out. What they want you to do is, well, running up a wall, use the directions, and then use another direction in A to jump over. Obviously, it doesn't help that they're giving it in controller controls and not keyboard and mouse like I'm using, which is annoying. But, I mean, I don't know if they ever they do get away from it at some point. I remember in Valhalla, they got away from it by then, but I don't know if they still gave the controller controls in 4 or not. Yeah, use a direction and press jump to jump in the chosen direction. So basically what it's saying is you got a wall run up like that, but then at the peak of your jump there, you gotta indicate a direction and then jump again, and then he'll jump out that way. But it takes me a little while to master that. So that's most of what this is, and sometimes I just miss the wall completely like that. So I think, again, just because there's nothing to show other than me failing for like 10 minutes, and I don't really feel the need to try to fill 10 minutes with commentary about nothing. So I think we'll skip ahead to when I do finally figure it out. There we go. So now you can see by this point I've figured it out. I don't know if that's the first time, but that seems like it would be the first time, because then I get immediately, like, it's not even like intentional or anything. It's just I ended up too close to the side. So yeah. There's so much going wrong there. It had to be the first time I figured that out. But I did figure it out, as you can see. It took a while. I was just looking through it as I was fast forwarding. Like, I was looking through the control menu. Okay, so that must have been like the second time, because that first lever, you can see from there the door to the tomb was basically misaligned at the start, and then as you hit each of these like jump levers and pull them down, it aligns the door. Once all 4 segments are aligned, or 5 segments, I forget how many it is, then it will open the tomb. I think it's, yeah, it is only 4. They can see we just have the last one there. But yeah, I was in the controls trying to figure it out. I remember trying to also use, because they keep telling you, well, they don't keep telling you, but every once in a while they'll say, hey, there's a option for first-person camera. So I went and looked up the controls for that, and then went to use them. Nothing. It did not give me a first-person camera. I assume maybe because this was a tomb, like the tomb's camera settings override everything else, which is really annoying, because the camera settings are like the worst part of these tombs. But so now what I'm doing, you'll notice I'm taking a little break here. That's because I realized, oh hey, the thing they just taught me, or retaught me, depending on if they taught it to me at some other point previously, I can actually use that and get the secret chest, even though there's absolutely no need to. So there we go, secret chest. It was mostly just bugging me because I could hear it while I was in that room. And 500 florins, not a huge amount, but not the tiniest either. So that's literally all I left the tomb to do, and then I go right back into the tomb. Now, I think I get it on this attempt. Maybe, just barely. I remember it was really close when I did actually get the... Yeah, he likes to bounce off that wall and then into the water. Fortunately, at least from my observations, it seems like these timers are like, what do you call it? It's not that they're generous, it's that I think they rubber band a bit. Because I remember there was one tomb pretty early on where, like, I kind of just did the first part over and over again trying to practice it, and it felt like it took forever for the timer to run out. I'm like, oh, that's really generous. And then when I got that part down and actually started trying to do the whole thing, like, it was constantly closing on me right before I got there. So in that case, it just feels like it rubber bands. Like, see there, I messed up a lot. I had to go for a swim a couple of times, and yet I still had just enough time to reach that end, which is what makes me think it rubber bands a bit. There we go. So now we can go in there and loot a tomb. After we take all the money in the chest too, which is all Florence, despite the fact that this may not have been open for a while, although someone might have gotten in here given all those bottles laying around. I also like how they have a lot of ancient artifacts in there. Like, you can see there's like an Egyptian god there in a corner. Anubis, maybe? Ra? I think Anubis is the dog one, right? And the others are like actually people or something. But then we got like a Greek statue, a Roman statue there. Which I think goes to show how long this tomb might have been here. But if there's one thing the assassins don't have, it's respect for the dead. I think it would have been funny if something popped out of that door when you tried to use it. Leonidas. So that's probably a Greek dude then, I would guess. Visitation secret completed. And we'll just pop out of the sewer here and watch as the people on the bench pay us no mind. And off we go. Right now, at this point, I think I started doing... Yeah, I did do a few side quests. Okay. So the tomb wasn't that long. It was only... It only took me maybe a bit less than a half hour. But I remember going through some of these side quests. Eventually, I just... Honestly, I just kind of got a little bit tired of them. So I stopped and... I mean, there's plenty to do still. Yeah, these guys apparently get angry if you go near their chest.
Take this man very, very seriously.
Take this man seriously, he says, as they get their asses handed to them. There we go. And as luck would have it, we didn't get any notoriety from that. I think at this point I kind of just decided the best option was to take the boat, although it's going to be a very painful boat ride because even though I've turned off sticky keys, it still comes on for some reason. So like I'm only doing it in pulses of like 2 or 3 with a couple of seconds in between. So it takes a little bit of time to get across the other side of the canal here. It was definitely made for mashing, I'll tell you that much. And now we're close enough to actually dismount and get up there. There we go. And now we can ascend to where the pigeon carrier is. Or the pigeon cage, rather, I guess. All right, thicker than water. I'm sending one of my men to help you eliminate a conspirator who has ties to Archbishop Salviati. He will pilot a gondola toward your target. Follow him at a distance. Make sure to avoid combat until you're ready to strike. Lorenzo. Go to the gondolier. The one who gondols. The man of gondoling. Gonna need you to be quiet, sir. And there he is. The gondoling man himself. So, you basically have to follow him. It gives him a health bar for some reason, which is interesting. Because he doesn't actually get attacked at all. It's actually pretty amusing what happens. Here I'm trying to be stealthy because I thought maybe someone might see me, but no one does. It's pretty straightforward. You do just follow him. And I missed it. So I end up just swimming beside him for a little while. You know, the AI strokes for those boats seem much more effective than my strokes. Like, he moves so far with just one stroke. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to forget what you saw, sir. Like how it gives you the option to assassinate, or at least target him. I don't know if the game would let you assassinate him, but it might. It might just, even though it gives you like a health bar, that might just be a function like that comes with putting the blue arrow on him. And then the game might still consider him a civilian and let you kill him. I don't know. I didn't try, but the thought does occur to me now, seeing how you can target him. Yeah, they don't even like they just have their standard complement of rooftop archers too. Like they didn't have anyone watching this passageway or anything. So like it's not really a stealth mission, but it's a very basic follow mission in that like obviously I think if you lose sight of him, you could fail it, but as long as you stay within a certain distance, there's no issues.
Truly, I am blessed this.
And so here I'm just purchasing, because we've unlocked areas of Venice, we've also unlocked the the ability to purchase treasure maps for them. So that's just to fill my map out a bit. And then we can see the gondolier coming through here. And yeah, we couldn't make that jump. Then I climb up there. Yeah, I don't know for what purpose, because we can't really make any of those jumps. So at this point, we just follow him out to the target, which is actually that boat that's out there, that ship. A tiny one. I mean, it's bigger than his gondola by far, but it's still pretty tiny. Then once he pulls up alongside, I thought like maybe the target would get out on his gondola or the gondolier would pop out to do business with him. But no, it shows the target appearing and then the gondolier disappears. Sounds like something got caught in the laundry or something. So sorry if that shows up on the audio for this. Must have been a coin in a pocket or something that got loose. But yeah, so we can just circle around to the back of the boat and stab him. And then an identical twin of his appears. So we stab him too. And then we stab his guards. Yeah, I don't know why it
Peasants, get down!
And then of course I get notoriety for that for some reason, even though I got notoriety for nothing else. Yeah, so here I'm just like, oh, what's the best way of getting back? You know, what's the closest billboard? And then I see, hey, there's some towers we haven't climbed yet. So I think that's what I do. And yeah, there's area to the north that we need to explore, which should be unlocked to us now. But then there's some area to the west. And I decide, let's get that area. So yeah, you can see I selected it, so we swim out there. And then once I get on land... Oh, excuse me. Ugh. I'll head over to it. And then I think at some point I do take the notoriety, one of the posters down too. There we go. So our point is that that church or whatever that's under construction. And here I'm just kind of seeing if there's a good way to bridge that gap. Yeah, there we go. There's the poster I eventually take. But I don't think there was a good way to bridge the gap for this guy, so I end up just diving into the water, I want to say. Yeah. Nope. Maybe I goof and go into the water, but there we go. Sorry, my lady. But yeah, it's pretty easy to actually get up here just from the base of the structure. There are some structures that definitely want you to take a certain way up or come from adjoining buildings, and here you can just get up from the base. It's not even that high, all things considered. Like, wow, I can see the rooftops because I'm at rooftop level. So it's like, if in an actual first-person view of Ezio, you'd see maybe the second set of buildings and then other tall landmarks in the city, and that's about it. Not a very useful point, to be sure. I don't know why I'm so... I guess I'm looking for a way down. There we go.
Against the Serene Republic, and will be executed publicly in the Piazza San Marco at first light 2 days hence.
So we can just run along the ground then until we get to the next watch point. And we'll climb some buildings here, and oh, actually the tower's right here. So we'll just climb that up, another easy climb there. Certainly it feels very familiar, almost like we've done it before. Actually, I have no idea if this tower is like a real landmark or just like a copy-paste tower that they put a couple into, or put a couple of into like pad out the cities. Just because it does feel that familiar. And then we actually have an assassination contract pretty close by, so we'll pick that up.
Basta! What's wrong with you, huh?
But first, murder and larceny. And now we can go about our way.
Down or die! Raju, you think?
See, these guys aren't giving me notoriety when I managed to kill them right away. I don't know why that other guy in the boat gave me notoriety, but meh. Not the biggest deal. And yeah, that gap was a bit too big to bridge. And then this must have been what I was thinking of earlier, where I kind of flub getting across, or rather getting up there a couple of times. Oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah, because I see that feather, and I try to go for it, and then I miss that jump. And he can't grab the bar, so I have to go up on the bridge again and try to make that jump again. But he can't make the jump from that position. Like, whenever he's hanging like that, he cannot make a jump.
Damn street performers, freaks!
And there I miss it again. I think I get it on the third try, though. But I suppose we shall find out. I think this time I also just chose the alternative, safer route of just simply climbing to the roof and walking over. Yeah. instead of trying to like use the platforms alongside the apartments or whatever these are. So we do things the easy way here.
You make it look easy, friend.
And then we once again, let's see, I don't think it, yeah, it's far too low, so we have to go all the way back to the bridge and climb up on it again, so we can climb on the other side of the bridge and get to those apartments.
That's a curious one.
So now we can ascend and take the contract. Zero tolerance. One of our family's allies is constantly being harassed by a merchant from the Soderini family. Eliminate him without her knowledge. I don't want to frighten her. Lorenzo. Kill the merchant without being detected by the woman he's chasing. So this was actually an interesting mission. I remember I failed it the first time because like it literally just sprung the encounter on me and I was not prepared. Because it's very unique. He is chasing a woman. So you basically have to drop in behind her and kill him to, you know, to end the contract, because the woman will spot you through your, like, she just instantly sees you. You know, it's like trailing a Templar target, except you don't trail her. You try to avoid her. So it made for an interesting mission, to say the least. I like how I just bounced off that wall instead of... I wanted to grab like the top ledge there and then just quickly clamber on up to dry land, but instead I bounced off the wall into the water. So here I'm thinking, okay, we'll scout it out. I'll probably be able to, you know, see them from a distance and then move in. So that's why I got the eagle vision on, is to try to identify the target. It's like, okay, I'll take these guys just in case I need like a distraction or something. And I literally run around. And yeah, you see there, she basically runs into me and desyncs me, even though I brought the thieves along to hopefully use either as a blending spot or a distraction. So I have to do that all over again. So this time, I think I chose the smarter path of just staying on the rooftops. So that way, because I figured just knowing the mechanics of the game, the instant you kill them, the mission's done, and it doesn't matter if she sees you. A little gamey, but it works. So in this, I basically do exactly that. I just drop down on him after she's passed, kill him, and by the time she turns around because she suspects something's up, the mission is considered done. So her opinion doesn't matter. So we have to get up on a bridge yet again. Seems to be a recurring theme here. Fortunately, we have a bit easier time of this than we have in the past. So here I'm like, oh, better ascend right away, otherwise she might spot me.
I will kill all trespassers, but what are you doing?
The archer's getting mad at me, but what else is new? And it becomes very obvious, too, when they show up, because they are literally just running through the streets. Oh. Okay, so that did... There, I was able to run past her. Okay, so it didn't quite go like I thought it did. But you can see I dropped down. Managed to run past her far enough that she didn't immediately, like, aggro on me. and then kill him. But you could see because she saw me, she was stopping and turning, but she didn't do it fast enough for me to lose the mission. So hooray! And I think at this point I decide, okay, this mission's been going long enough. I'm just going to go home and deposit our loot so we can at least enjoy that.
I know it.
Notice to all cittadini. Due to the shortage of
Yeah, I was debating for a second whether swimming or finding an alternate route would be faster, but then I saw this route pop up, so. And then I see the rope there, so it's like, oh, I can climb on that and use that to cross the gap. And then we don't have a rope here, but fortunately I magnetized to that wooden beam. And I'm able to just drop down here. So we're gonna travel back to the villa now. And I think I might make a quick check on some of the merchants, like see if we unlocked anything at the art merchant. Or I don't. Okay, I just go for healing. Fair enough.
A bit of rest and you should be well recovered, friend.
But we'll go into our mansion. You can see we have a lot of money to pick up too, because our chest is just about full, I think, at this point, with those 40,000 florins. So it looks like first thing we're going to do is deposit the feather. So here you go, Mama Maria. And then we go and deposit the seal. And there's only one left, so we can just plug it right in.
Thank you, Altair, for this great gift. May it shield me from my enemies.
Looks a little different than I remember it from Assassin's Creed 1, but we get about 2,000 value, and we auto-equip it as well. And actually, I will proceed to unequip it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because I eventually look at the stats, and it's pretty interesting in that the most of the armor actually isn't better than the armor we were wearing. Like, there's one piece that is like 0.5 better and one that's like 0.5 worse, or one better, one worse, or something like that. But on the whole, they're about equal. So like this one, you can see the Altair actually adds one less health for the vambraces, but then I think for the chest guard it added one more. Yeah. So it ends up being a bit of a wash compared to the Massalgius armor, or whatever it's called. And the resistance is exactly the same. So I figure I'm generally not a fan of like stealing the looks of past characters or trying to recreate characters. You know, Altair was his own person with his own armor, and shit, why am I drawing a blank on his name all of a sudden? Ezio.
Salute, Claudia.
Ezio is also his own person with his own armor. So here we're looking, we can see we basically have 93% completion as far as the collections go. We're basically missing portraits of Ezio's targets, some feathers, some codex pages. That's pretty much it. And most of that is the feathers, of which we are missing 62. And the codex pages, I think, are probably going to be locked behind the story at this point, unless I find one in the unexplored areas of Venice. As far as equipment goes, we have everything except a single weapon, which will probably be unlocked in a chapter or two, I'm guessing. So you can see there, we got 3,500 value for the Armor of Altair. Although it only said 2,200, I thought, but maybe that was just for the seals. I was a little surprised they didn't have, like, how they have one for all weapons, that they didn't also have a category for all armor, but that might just be a balancing thing. In any case, our value is 25,000. Sorry, that was the value of just that page. Our total value is 140,970. So we get 14,097 florins every 20 minutes, which is ridiculous at this point. And we got some money in the chest, so we can just collect that. And our maximum capacity is about maybe 70 minutes worth of florins.
A presto, Ezio.
So that will pretty much conclude things for today. Next time we'll probably be continuing the side quest in Venice for a little bit. Here I'm just going and looking at, because I did find, while I was looking for the controls, I found there's a stats page, which shows you like your overall synchronization, time played, distance covered, yada yada. And it is just interesting to see some of these stats. Monterigone restored 93%. You can see we're only missing collections and then the one weapon. The population, which grows based on your collection. So like when we found the Armor of Altair, I think that increased the population by like 100 or something. Something silly like, oh, 100 people came to live here because I found the Armor of Altair. Great. But a little funny, but also at the same time kind of amusing that they put in something like that. I can appreciate that. Yeah, this must be when I'm where I'm just quick checking if there's anything else to buy. Or oh no, I remember what this was. This was me thinking my armor wasn't as white as I remember it being, and seeing if I had a different dye selected. I think that cape I thought was a different color, but it is not. So I think that's where, yeah. So this is where we're going to end things off for today. So with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.